Hey everyone, and welcome to this video. I'm Minxlaura123 and this is going to be my December reading wrap up. So yeah, in this video I'm going to be telling you about the books that I read in the month of December and telling you if I like them or not, what rating I give them out of 5, that kind of thing. So I hope you enjoy watching. If you do, please click like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome. Don't forget to smash the notification bell to all notifications, then you can see when I've uploaded new videos and when I'm doing live streams. Okay, let me know in the comments, by the way, what books you read in December. What was your favourite and your least favourite, that kind of thing. I love reading your comments. So before I begin, I've got my laptop here next to me, so I will be reading my notes from there. And also I want to kind of explain how I rate my books on Goodreads. By the way, if you want to come and follow me on Goodreads, see what books I've read, want to read, that kind of thing, please do. I'll put the link down below to my Goodreads page. I love Goodreads, it's such an awesome app. But yeah, so how do I rate my book? So if I give a book a 1 star, I didn't like it at all. It was like terrible. I probably DNF'd it halfway through, or not even that. I just didn't like it. 2 star would be, I didn't like it that much, but I could see there were good things in it. There were points that I liked, or maybe I liked the character, but I didn't really like the story, that kind of thing. So yeah, 3 stars. It was okay. I liked it. I enjoyed it, but it was a bit meh. You know, it was a bit okay. It was all right. 4 stars. I really loved it. But it was just missing that special something that would make it a 5 star. But I did really like it. If it's a 4 star, it's good. And of course the final rating I would give is the highest, which would be 5 stars, and that is when I love the story, the characters, everything about it had that special something, that kind of thing. So if you get a 5 star review, you know it's a good book. Okay, so should we begin? Let's do it. Let's begin. Also, behind me you can see my current read, which is Slay, and I'll be telling you about that after I've done the reading wrap up. Let me know what book you're currently reading, if you're liking it or not. Yeah, this is my first book of the year. By the way, Happy New Year 2022. Yeah, thank you, by the way, to my viewers for choosing that book, because the beginning of December I did like a viewers choose my first read thing, and you voted in the comments, thank you, and Slay won. So I'll be telling you about that and my thoughts so far on it in a bit. So glasses are going on, you know I'm in business. Okay, so yeah, if you see me keep looking away, it's because I'm obviously looking at my laptop. So the first book I read in the month of December was You'll Be the Death of Me by Karen M. McManus. I'm really sad to say this because I love her books, but I did not like this book at all. Yeah, characters were unlikable for me. I just didn't like them. I didn't really care about them at all. Didn't care what happened to them, you know. I've got to connect with the characters. I've got to care about them. I want to like learn about them and know about them, you know. Yeah, Ferris Buller's Day Off with Murder. So they kind of skip school and they end up at this murder scene, and do you know what, I just didn't like it. So I did DNF it because I was just not feeling it at all. It didn't work for me. 1 star. But I'm really sad, as I say, about saying that, because I absolutely love Karen M. McManus books so much. And this has been the first one that I've read that I've just not enjoyed at all. But obviously I will continue to read her books in the future. It's just that one for me that I didn't like. Okay, next book I read was a collection of short stories called Murder Under the Christmas Tree by various authors. It's a collection of Christmas themed crime stories. Okay, it was supposed to be like a cozy mystery short story book, but I didn't feel cozy from reading it at all. I found the stories really boring. Every time I read a story I thought, oh, it's a bit boring. Okay, maybe the next one will be better, and then it wasn't. And then I thought, oh, it's okay, the next one will be better. It wasn't. So I was not feeling it at all. It didn't feel cozy. I just thought the stories were boring, I'm afraid. 1 star. Next book I read was The Downstairs Girl by Stacey Lee. I really want to like Stacey Lee's books because the premise of her stories of the books always sounds so good and interests me. But this is the second book I've read from her, and I don't enjoy her writing. I don't know what it is. Like I start at the beginning enjoying her writing, and then I just kind of, I don't know. I like the fact that this book did deal with, you know, tackle really important issues like racial tension, segregation, voting rights, etc. And as I say, it started off really good, and then like the story just completely changed. I like the fact that she was this kind of secret journalist, but then it went from that to horse racing. I was like, huh? Very odd. By the way, if you want to know more intimate details about all these books that I'm talking about, I'll link all of the books down below to their Goodreads page of of that book. So you can read people's reviews, more info about the book, that kind of thing, what people have rated it. This is just kind of like a quick version that I'm doing. But yeah, I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it, I'm afraid. Sorry. 2 stars. I had to DNF it. Oh, sorry. Also, what I'll do at the end of this video, carry on watching. So I will include pictures of all the books that I mentioned, like the front covers. So you'll see what the front covers look like. Okay, next book I read was Stay Another Day by Juno Dawson. I love Juno Dawson books. Amazing author. This one I'd got a few months before Christmas, but I'd saved for the month of December because it was obviously a Christmas festive read. And I'm really pleased that I saved it till December because it felt right reading it in the month of December with all Christmassy stuff. This one did entertain me. It was a little bit trashy, which I kind of liked. It was funny at times. It dealt with important issues, like there was lots of drama, there was lots of secrets. There was this family and they all had their own secrets going on, which I love, especially the big reveal when everything all comes out. I thought that was great. I did feel uncomfortable with some of the language at times when they were talking about one of the sisters who had an eating disorder, and some of the stuff that was said about her, like from her siblings, I found quite hurtful and nasty, and I was like, I don't know. For me, that just felt uncomfortable. But overall, I did enjoy it. As I say, it was full of drama, so 3 stars for that one. The next, I had an audio book, The Tales of Beedle the Bard by J.K. Rowling. I listened to this in different places, whether I was in work, in the bath, sitting in bed, like just, walking around the house doing housework, just have it on my ear. So I really enjoyed it. It was a collection of short sort of fairy tale stories, which I like. And it had amazing special effects. Like the audio had such good effects. Like I can't explain it. It was just so cool. It felt like you were really there. Like it was so good. And the people who were doing like the voice acting were just amazing. They really give it their all. Because sometimes I've listened to audiobooks and the person reading it just sounds so kind of bored, or they haven't got that like personality. I don't know. But everyone who read each story just had that special something. It was really good, really entertaining. The only thing I would say is some of the stories were better than others. Some of them I was like, oh, this is great, and others I was a little bit bored by them. So that is why I gave it 3 stars. But really great special effects. Next book I read was Velvet Was the Night by the lovely Silvia Moreno Garcia. Really want to read more of her books this year. That is one of my reading goals, because I just love her writing style. I love her characters that she creates. I don't know, feel the characters, like I connect with them. So I really, really want to read more of her. Yeah, this is about a daydreaming secretary, a lonely enforcer, and the mystery of a missing woman. So people from all different sides are looking for this mystery woman for different reasons. It's very exciting. It's set in Mexico City in the 70s, which was great. I love the whole kind of 70s vibe and stuff like that. I just found it really exciting. It kind of played out like a film to me, which her books do. My favourite book actually of the year, if you saw my top 50 books of the year, was an actual Silvia Moreno Garcia book called Certain Dark Things. And that also was very exciting and gripping and played out in my mind like a film, which was fantastic. Yeah, the pace of this book was a bit weird though, I will be honest. It started off really fast and exciting. In the middle it went a little bit slow, but then towards the end it just fast paced again, and just, yeah, really good, really great ending as well. 5 stars for that. Hercule Poirot's Christmas by Agatha Christie was my next book that I read in December. I did this as a read along with the lovely Mini Book Chats, who is called Kate. If you're watching Kate, you are awesome. I really enjoyed doing the read along. We also did like a live stream over on her channel where we discussed the book, which I really enjoyed, and I hope we can do that again in the future with another book, whether it's Agatha Christie or whatever. But she was lovely, and I really enjoyed doing that. I really want to do more read-alongs, readathons, buddy reads, that kind of thing. Actually, I forgot to say, in the month of December, I was participating in my very first readathon as well, the Reindeer Readathon, which I really enjoyed. It was great chatting to other bookworms, you know, and discussing what books you're reading and the points we're all getting. I was Team Nutcracker, if you were involved with that, Team Nutcracker here. But yeah, it was really good. I'd done all I could, done my best. I did quite a lot of the prompts, which is good. So hopefully I did bring the team quite a few points. So I was proud of myself. But yeah, I definitely want to do more stuff like that. But anyway, back to Agatha Christie. It's the first ever Agatha Christie book I've read, and I was a bit worried that I wouldn't like it, but I really, really loved it. It was so good. It was about this family, and the head of the family, this man, gets killed, and he's not a very nice man. Everyone's got their reason in the family to have want to killed him, kind of thing, and you have to guess who it is who's done it and why they've done it. And I started off thinking it was a certain character who'd murdered him. Then it changed to another character. Then I was like, what? The ending, complete twist. I would not have seen that coming at all. Really, really good. And I aim to read, well, what I'm planning to do actually is read one Agatha Christie book a month. So yeah, obviously the library have lots of Agatha Christie books, so that's fine. But yeah, one a month, and they're only quite short. The ones I've seen anyway, quite short reads for me. So I should hopefully do that challenge. But yeah, I loved it. Really good. 5 stars for that. Next book I read in December was Red Wolf by Rachel Vincent. This was a YA, one of those reimagining retellings of a fairy tale, which I love, but with a kind of darker twist to it, which I love even more. It's a dark fairy tale where Red Riding Hood is actually a shapeshifter. It's a bit out there, I'll be honest, but it was just a clever idea and I liked it. And it started off really well. I was really enjoying it. So just about halfway, I was still enjoying it. And I was like, oh, this is a good book. And then it started being quite descriptive in the talk of kind of animals being killed. I won't go into it. It was very detailed. And I'm a vegetarian. I don't like reading about anything to do with animals being killed or anyway. So I just found it very stomach churning and uncomfortable. So I skipped those few pages. And then later on in the book, I found it again, more description of animal slaughter and stuff. And I just thought, I can't do this. So I just DNF'd it, read the last few pages, see what happened, and that was that. So it would have been a higher score for me until all that kind of made me uncomfortable. So yeah, 3 stars for that. Next book I read, oh my God, loved it. Medusa by Jessie Burton. This is a dazzling feminist retelling of a Greek myth. And I've got to be honest, as embarrassing as it is at my age of 42, I don't really know the backstory of Medusa. I know that she had like the snakes in her hair, like snakes in her hair. I don't know what that was supposed to be, snakes, but anyway. But I didn't really know her story and things like that. So I liked that, all right, this was a retelling, but I liked learning about the actual story and stuff. And yeah, it was really interesting. And I loved Medusa. I thought she was like, her in this book, her story was just so touching. And it was really lovely illustrations in this book as well. Most beautiful artwork. And I'd actually got Medusa from the library, but I wish I'd have bought it because I would have kept that book. So it was just so lovely. And it had this really nice positive message as well about loving yourself for who you are, being proud to be who you are, etc., which was great. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for The Miniaturist 2 to come out, which is also, of course, by Jessie Burton. But yeah, really loved Medusa. It was brilliant. 5 stars for that. Next book I read was a romantic Christmassy book called Finding Love at the Christmas Market by Jo Thomas. Now, I don't really do like cringy, lovey-dovey stuff that much. I do like romance, but my problem with romance is it's so predictable for me. I always know that that's probably going to happen. She's going to go with him or he's going to do that. And that's what kind of ruins it. For me as a reader, I like to be shocked. I like to like be inquisitive and to kind of know what's going to happen is just like, but as I say, I do sometimes enjoy romance, even if it is a little bit predictable. I have to be in a mood for a bit of lovey-dovey book, you know? Hope that makes sense. But this one I wanted to read because it had the most beautiful cover. It was set at a Christmas market, and the cover, you'll see if you watch at the end of the video, I'm putting the pictures of the book covers on, as I say. It's like set out like a German Christmas market, and just holding that book, it felt really Christmassy. Like, it was just so pretty. But unfortunately, under that cover, the story for me, it was so cringy and it was so obvious and it was so predictable. Literally from the first 3 chapters in, if that, I could see what was going to happen, where it was going to go. And that, I was kind of reading it thinking, oh yeah, here we go. I knew that happened, and it just kind of put me off. But the story is about this woman who works at a care home. And I like the fact that her elderly residents really cared for her. She really cared for them. The elderly residents were quite funny, some of them, and very like personality driven, which was great. and they kind of meddled in her love life a bit, and she'd met this guy online, and they kind of went along, and the story was cute, but it was just too cringy for me and too predictable. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just an old Grinch. I don't know. But I gave it 2.5 stars. Next book I read in December was Rickles put my teeth in. Rickles Letters by Don Rickles. Sadly, Don Rickles has passed away now. He's one of my favourite comedians, like just a legend. I love Don Rickles. Sometimes I just sit and watch literally hours of his footage, whether it's him being on interviews with Frank Sinatra, whether it's him in CPO Sharky, whether it's him on the roast. Like, I love Don Rickles. He's basically, if you don't know who he is, look him up on YouTube. He is a certain type of humour you might not all like, but I love that kind of insult comedy, that nasty kind of comedy, the banter, that I just really enjoy. I love the roast. It's just that's my kind of comedy. So anyway, I already read his autobiography earlier in the year, which I loved so freaking much. And this was a little book that he did. It's basically a book where he writes, every page he writes little letters to random famous people. It's really bizarre to kind of, but it so works for me. For example, it goes from writing a letter to Jesus to writing a letter to Arnold Schwarzenegger to it's just so random that I loved it, and each letter was kind of personal to who they are, and yeah, it was really, really funny, so I loved it. So I gave it 5 stars, of course. And as Don would say, anyway, he'd always say that, anyway. So he'd do a joke and then he'd be like, anyway. Okay, moving on. Next book I read was A Witch Hunt in Whitby by the lovely Helen Cox. I love this book so much. It is part of a series, which I didn't realise at the time. Basically, I was in the library and I saw this book then. It's called Witch Hunt in Whitby, and it had the beautiful cover of Whitby on it. And I've never been to Whitby, by the way, but I would love to go. It's one of those places on my I want to go list. And it just looks my cup of tea, very gothic, and yeah. And I was drawn to it. I picked it up, read about it. I was like, yeah, I'm sold. I'm getting this one out, definitely. I read this book in just over a day because I could not put it down. It was so good. And I do want to read the others in the series. So the series is called the Kit Hartley Yorkshire Murder Mysteries. And I just think the other books, I've read about what they're about, and they sound my cup of tea as well. So I'm definitely this year going to read the rest of the series. So this is, hold on, let me read my notes. Oh yeah, this is a mystery crime about a serial killer being on the loose with a possible paranormal connection. So there's witches, there's psychics, there's vampires, there's occult symbols, and obviously you've got that thriller element of it as well. I really like the main character. I thought she was brilliant, and her kind of cast around her as well. I just felt from the very early on stages of the book, even though I'd not read the other books in the series, I felt I knew her, I connected with her. So yeah, I really, really loved it. Really full of twists and turns as well, which was great. I love reading thrillers when they've got like so many twists, like you really are confused of who's done this and who's done that, and I loved it. It's really, really good. So I gave that a 5 stars. Next book I read was Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. This book has been so hyped up. I just wanted to check it out. A story of love and duty set in San Francisco's Chinatown. It's got LGBTQI plus rep, which is great. This book was really good at first. I really enjoyed it, and then I just found myself getting very bored. I didn't feel that much was happening. I loved her coming of age, like the main character. I loved her coming of age story and find out about her family and her, come to terms with like who she was. Also discovering about her sexuality. Like I love that. I think that, those kind of stories for me, when you've got that coming of age thing and finding out about who you are and stuff, is brilliant. But I just got really bored. I was like, ugh. And also what I found irritating about this book was how it kept going back, forth, different characters. I'd rather just concentrate on the main character, not her mum and her dad and her this one and back, forth. But it was just, yeah. Also, what I will say, which I'm going to sound like a proper old woman now, I just found it a little bit too risque, a little bit too steamy for a YA book. I am an adult, obviously, and I appreciate that YA people, YA books are a little bit more explicit than, say, they were when I was younger. But I don't know, like it was very graphic, detailed sexual stuffs. I mean, it made me a little bit hot under the collar, but I don't know, maybe I'm being boring and old, but I just thought it was a little bit like, thinking of the age group that was intended for, it just felt a little bit too much steamy stuff. I don't know. But no, I did enjoy it, but it was just a bit boring. But I like the fact that it dealt with like politics, family issues, as I say, sexuality. Like it had its good points, but it's just a little bit dull for me and quite predictable as well. So yeah, 3 stars for that. My laptop has decided not to move. Come on, scroll down. There we go. Okay. The next book I read was A Single Thread of Moonlight by Laura Wood. Once again, like the Karen M. McManus book, I wanted to love this book because I love Laura Wood books. I just didn't love this book at all. On paper, I should have, because like it's a retelling of Cinderella. You know, it's Laura Wood. Like I don't know. It was quite a thick book. It was a paperback, but it was like this thick. It was quite a thick book. And I was just reading it, and I just was getting bored. I always know when I'm not enjoying a book fully and I'm not invested in it enough, because I start looking at like my phone. I'll go on Twitter or Instagram, or I'll watch TV, and I always know if I'm not that into it, then I get distracted. But yeah, I mean, it was sweet. I just found it really boring and so predictable as well. Like, it was just, I knew what was going to happen. It was obvious. I didn't really connect with the characters either, to be fair. So I did DNF it and gave it 2 stars. The next book I read was The Christmas Pig by J.K. Rowling. Oh my God, this book was so adorable. I read it on Christmas Eve. I just wanted to either read it on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. So I went with Christmas Eve, and I literally read it in one day. Like one day. And it was quite, you know, well, I've got it here actually, but it's a hardback. It's not like a little slim read or anything, but I just could not put it down. It was just so enchanting, so sweet, so beautifully written. And I love the story, the characters, everything about it. So it's about this little boy who's called Jack. Yeah, Jack, from the first few pages, I loved Jack. I was like, yeah, this character is going to take my heart. Like, everything he was going through with his parents, and the closeness he had to his like soft toy. You know, I am very open and honest. I love dolls and teddy bears and stuff. Like, I'm a big kid. So, and I do get attached to my teddy bears and dolls and things. And that's been ever since I was a little kid. So I was kind of reading as an adult, but as it, you know, it kind of brought out my inner child as I was reading it. So I think for this book, I think kids could read it and love it, and adults can read it and love it because it brings out that inner child. But yeah, he's basically, I won't ruin the story or anything, but his favourite soft toy, his pig, goes missing, and he goes on this kind of mission to find it with some help of objects that come to life. Like, it's kind of like Toy Story, and a film that I saw in the 80s called The Little Toaster. You probably don't remember that, but anyway, good film. So things like everything, like a TV has a personality and thoughts, and I'm looking around the rubbish bin, or I don't know, a sofa. It's so weird, like, and at first it's like, this is weird, but as you read it, it becomes the norm. Like, you do think of objects like this would just have a personality, and you know, places they go when they go missing, and it was just magical and enchanting, and I loved it so much. 5 stars without a doubt. The next book I read was Not Happy Family by Shari LaPena. This was a thriller that gripped me so much. I couldn't put it down either. I just loved it so much. I've read The Couple Next Door a few years ago by her and really enjoyed that. I have got some other Shari LaPena books in the house, like on my bookcases. I need to get around to reading them this year because, wow, what an author. If you like thrillers, I really recommend Shari LaPena. She gets you with all the little twists and that, and then there's always that kick at the end with a complete twist as well. But really, really good. This was about a family, very rich family. They live in this big mansion, got loads of cash, etc. And basically the parents are killed, and the 3 grown-up children are put as the suspects. So you kind of have to go through the book thinking, what one is it? Who would do it? Why would they do it? And they all kind of look like a bit guilty. And also there's other characters as well who are not the siblings, but they could also be involved. Like, it really is full of like these twists and turns, and just, yeah. The person that I thought it wasn't. So that shocked me. And then there was, as I say, another exciting little twist at the end as well, which was really good ending. So yeah, I loved it, and without a doubt, a 5 stars for that one. The next book I read was All the Feels by Olivia Dade. I wanted to like it so much, and I did at the beginning. It seems to be a familiar pattern with me. I like it at the beginning and then downhill. This was a kind of enemies to lovers trope, and as much as I enjoy those, and I do, I like it when people don't get on and then slowly, they get on, and or sometimes romance blossoms or whatever. But this one, at the beginning, when they were kind of not enemies, but they didn't really get on or anything, it was exciting. The banter between them, like the sarcastic comments, like it was just great. I loved it. Very, very funny. I loved both the characters. I was feeling it. But then really quickly, they just went from like not getting on to being friends. And obviously the next stage was going to be romance. And I was like, oh, I'd have preferred it to have gone on longer where they were kind of having those jibes at each other and not getting on. And it could have worked so much better, this book. But I think the author just made them be friends and bond really quickly. And I was like, oh, okay. So that kind of ruined it for me. But yeah, it's about this guy, this actor who's in this big series. This is part of a series, I think. This is number 2, but you can read as standalones, but they're set all in the same universe. A little bit like Guy Carella, I think. And yeah, he's this actor, and he's handsome and popular and stuff, but he's a bit of a bad boy. He gets caught having a fight in a bar, and gets into trouble, and then his manager at the show kind of gets this cousin of his to be his minder. This woman is a therapist, and she's kind of meant to be his like adult nanny as such, and it's just really funny. As I say, it is funny, but I just wish they would, and the whole kind of, there were lots of at the beginning anyway, maybe as the book went on, I don't know, I DNF'd it would have changed, but at the beginning there were lots of like nasty comments about her weight and stuff, and describing her look. Like, I don't know, I just found it a little bit uncomfortable. But anyway, so God, it's got really dark in here, sorry, I should have put the light on. Oh well. But yeah, I just found it really annoying, and I just didn't enjoy it, so I stopped reading it. 2 stars. But as I say, if she would have gone with the nasty comments to each other a bit longer, it would have been more funny. But anyway, next book I read was a middle grade. I don't really read that many middle grades. I do read some, but this one I super duper loved, and I've actually pre-ordered this author's new book, so I proved that I really liked her writing. It's by I think it's Elle or Ellie McNichol. Show Us Who You Are. This book was so different than anything I'd ever read. And tell you, I read a lot of books, okay? So it's got great autistic and ADHD rep, which is brilliant. It's got holograms, it's got friendship, it's got it's just so good. It's got mystery in it. It was brilliant. And yes, it was a middle grade, but I think for me as an adult, I really enjoyed it as well. Even with the mystery element, I was like, oh, it got me a little bit, which I liked. It was magical, it was sweet, and as I say, I definitely want to read more from this author. I gave it a 5 stars. And the last book I read in the month of December, I'd gone from that book, which was quite cute, to this one, which was one of the darkest books I've ever read. I like my thrillers and I like my dark thrillers, but this was dark thriller. So I read When I Was 10 by Fiona Cummins. I got it in Waterstones. They were doing their special offer day, and I saw it. I was drawn to the cover and I read about it. I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. So I got it there, and I tell you, I really enjoyed it, but it was very hard hitting thriller. So I don't normally do the whole trigger warning thing. However, I do feel a book like this should, I should kind of give you some trigger warnings. So trigger words, abuse, child abuse, murder, obviously, because it's a thriller. But I just, the abuse thing, especially the child abuse, was very hard and emotional to read. There was times during this book where I had to kind of put it down on the side a bit, watch some fluffy, silly stuff on TV, and then go back to it. But, it was so well wrote that it was so believable, and that's why it hit me so hard. It's about these 2 girls, these 2 sisters, and they basically, one of them kills their parents. It's like a double murder. It becomes a big thing, and years later it kind of visits visits one of the daughters who has kind of decided to come out publicly about this story and what happened. The other sister has been given over the years a new identity. She's got a family. Her husband and her daughter do not know anything about her former life and what happened. She was called the Angel of Death, because, you know, she killed the parents and stuff. When she was only 10 years old, she killed them with scissors. It's very graphic detail as well. But yeah, so she, basically it all comes out who the other one in hiding is, like, you know, her true identity, and then the press go after her. There's also another girl who's a journalist who was their friend and there when it all kind of was happening at that time. So it kind of goes, the book, kind of current, what's happening here in the here and now, but it also skims back to the past, and kind of goes through their story of why the murders took place, what happened, what was behind it all, their upbringing, their family life. And oof, it was very dark. I keep saying that, but it was it was a very dark thriller, but it was so good. I could not put it down. I was laying on the sofa one night reading it, and I just couldn't stop. I was like, I'm so tired. My eyes were getting really heavy, but I was like, no, I need to know what happens. And my other half, bless him, Nathan, he was like, come on, like, put the book down. You look so tired. We're going to go to bed. And I was like, no, just one more chapter. Just one more chapter. But yeah, it's really, really good. And I did give it a 5 stars. So as for my book of the month, really difficult because there were just so many good books. I know I had a few that were in there, but I did have a few 5 stars as well. But the book of the month, I don't know where I put it. Oh, it's here. The book of the month I've decided is, there we go, The Christmas Pig by J.K. Rowling. It looks like I'm holding the pigs. There we go. But yeah, I just love this book so much. It really touched me. It was emotional. It was sweet. It was festive. It was beautiful. I love the fact, as I say, that, you know, objects come to life and stuff. It says one boy and his toy are about to change everything. There's also really lovely artwork in here, like in between each chapter. There's just beautiful, like, artwork. You can see that. It's so sweet. And as I say, this is for kids, but it could be for adults as well. Like, it brings out your inner child. Also, under the dust jacket, look at this. Wow. I love the red and gold and kind of Christmas trees. And yeah, it's just amazing. So that is my book of the month of December, Christmas Pig. Okay, so now I'm going to quickly tell you about this book behind me, which I'm going to grab. This is my current read by Brittany Morris, called Slay. I want to say once again thank you to my viewers for choosing this book, and I definitely will do that again, where I do a video asking you to read, pick a book for me to read. So this is officially my first book of 2022. I started it on January the 1st, and yeah, I think I'm over halfway. Yeah, just a little bit over halfway. I'm currently on page 162. It's really good. It's so exciting. I was a little bit concerned that I wouldn't enjoy it because it's got a thing about like gaming, and I'm not a gamer. My other half is, but I'm not. I'm a bookworm and all that, but I'm not a gamer. Like, the only game I play is Mario Kart on the Switch. That's it. But I'm actually really enjoying it. Even the gaming elements of it. Anyway, let me tell you what it's about. But yeah, it's really, really, really good. At this point, I can't see it being any less than a 4 star. Like, it's got to be a 4 or 5 stars, this book. I can predict it. So yeah, it's called Slay. By day, 17-year-old Kyra Johnson is a college student and one of the only black kids at Jefferson Academy. By night, she joins hundreds of thousands of black gamers who duel worldwide in the secret online VR game called Slay. No one knows Kyra is the game developer, not even her boyfriend Malcolm. But when a teenager is murdered over a dispute in the Slay world, the media labels it a racist hub for thugs. With threats coming from both inside and outside the game, Kyra must fight to save the safe space that she has created. But can she protect Slay without losing herself? It's so good. It's so exciting. It's so gripping. I love Kyra. She's such a great character. I just really, really like her. And I find it interesting how on the outside she's got this persona, but then behind closed doors she locks her room and she puts the VR thing on and she's playing her game. And not only is she playing this game, she created this game and it's gone massive and people all around the world play it, and I love that. And as I say, I'm not a gamer, but when I'm reading about elements of the game, like when she's playing the game it's described, I do actually quite enjoy it. Like, I feel like, oh, this is pretty cool because it's like a fantasy game and stuff. I don't like her boyfriend. I don't know how it's going to go down, but I'm not feeling the boyfriend at all. I do not like how he talks to her, his attitude. He just seems a bit, So I don't like Malcolm. But yeah, I also like the fact they've just kind of, for the most of the book, it's just been about Kyra, and then slowly but surely they've brought in other characters who play the game around the world, and you're kind of learning about them as individuals and why they play the game and what they get from it. And yeah, I think that's really cool. I like the fact they've done that. Yeah, I'm interested in how it's gonna all go down, because yeah, it's a thriller. It's very, yeah, intensifying. It's very electric. It's good. So I am a queen, and this is my game. Really recommend it, by the way, to you. I've not yet finished it, but I think I'll get it done today. I've got the day off work, obviously, so because it's Sunday, so I'm gonna just sit and read. Not, oh, just drop my bookmark. Not just read. I have other things to do as well, but I will definitely do a lot of reading, and I will get this done today. But I recommend it to you because it's so good. So yeah, looking forward to find out what happens at the end. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Carry on watching for all the pictures of all of the books in the order that I've mentioned them, so you can see their front covers and stuff. And as I say, down below in the description box, I'll put the links to all of these books on their Goodreads page, the link to them, so you can read about the book in more detail, the story, read people's reviews. Laptop then, there we go. People's reviews, see what people have rated these books that I've spoke about, that kind of thing. So please do look at them if there's any that you think, oh, that looks good, you know, any that you fancy a read of. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing this video, so I hope you've enjoyed watching it. I know my book videos don't get that many views compared to other videos that I do, but I really enjoy them because I love anything bookish. I'm a bookworm. I enjoy talking about books and reading, and my passion is so like important to me that yeah, it might not get many views, but I love creating a video where I just sit and talk about books, you know, so it's all good. If you want to come and follow me on social media, please do. All my links down below: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that jazz. And please also check out my other channel, Minxlaura123 ASMR. On that channel I do videos to help people with anxiety, insomnia, kind of relaxation videos. So check out Minxlaura123 ASMR. All right, everyone, take care of yourself. Keep watching for the pictures of the book covers, and please comment and all that, you know, let me know what you're reading and stuff. And I'll see you very, very soon. And happy reading. See you later, everyone. Bye.